All right, hey, so I'm making this video response because I really first off, I thought it was very funny, but it there was something going on in my head throughout the whole thing that I was watching, and I'm like, okay, in real life, like, okay, let's be real for a second. And the thing that was getting to me is that okay, um, yes, I have at times been that girl. Um, I try to be nice these days because I was chastised and I learned my lesson that it is nice to be nice. And but there is a reason for the madness. Um, I would I'm not a conceited person. I mean it's not really much to be conceited about. Look at me right now, my hair's a hot mess. But um I yeah, okay, I had a weird experience one time where I had given a guy my number and it was horrible. And I was very young at the time, and I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, oh, he seemed nice. He seemed the right age. He seemed decent. He even gave me that whole line of, oh, let's be friends. Okay. And I gave him my number. And I'm like, okay, so things are going to be cool, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't even walk a few feet from, like, I walk a few feet from this dude, and he's like, oh, ringing up my phone, blowing up my phone. And this has happened constantly, like, weeks on end. And I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with calling me just to check if I have my number, if it's the right number. I understand that if you've been blown off a couple times. I understand calling me every now and then, but do you have a life? Do you have something to do? Don't you have friends or something? And then it turned out he didn't want to be friends at all. It just turned out to be just some whole thing. Point is, it is annoying because um, you get that response sometimes. Sometimes people are crazy. Just saying, just that. And then after that whole experience, I was that's when I decided to be kind of rude, and I was told I shouldn't be that way, and I realized the error of my ways. Now, my issue these days is that it is hard to be nice and still say no. I, for some reason, it seems to translate that in order to be nice, I have to give you my number. Why should I give you my number if I'm not interested? And it's funny because it's like if I say I'm not interested, they're all like, "Oh, well, they must have a reason. I must give them a reason." And it is funny because it's like, what if I don't have a good reason? Like, do I need to have a good reason to not want to give you my number? And that's, on top of everything, it's like, what if my reason is long as like is long? Like, I could have a whole life story that you don't know about. I could be crazy. I could have issues, but I must stop and pause my life and tell you why I can't be with you. You ask me, oh, do I have a boyfriend? Do I have this, that? And I'm like, no, no, no. But you think, and then you're like, oh, well, so you got to tell me what's wrong. Why can't I get your number then? Why can't I get your number then? It's like they're, and it's not even like I'm hot. It's not even like I'm this, I'm that. I'm not that type of person because it happens to everybody. I remember one time I was looking a hot mess. I just literally rolled out of bed half in my pajamas, looking disgusting, walking to the corner store because I'm just like, let me go pick this up and go run back home. And I still got talked to by some dude in the street, and I literally had to wiggle myself out of that situation. And it's like, okay, like it happens to everybody. So it's not even about, oh, who's hot and who's not. No, it's just a matter of the fact that it gets annoying. It gets annoying, and it's like, what am I supposed to what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I say no nicely? That's the question that I'd like to get answered, because it gets really aggravating. Because and think, think this is okay, let's be real for a second, okay? You always hear this after the fact, like if a girl turns, not even if she's being rude, just if she turns a guy down, oh, he's like, Oh, well, you wasn't even bad then. You didn't even look like you wasn't even that hot with your crappy weave and your crappy da da da, and you looking like a clown with your makeup and na 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 na. Yeah, okay. If you really wasn't that interested, why you talking to her in the first place? Okay. Don't you just mad because your cute little ego got hurt and crushed because some girl didn't want to talk to you or she didn't want to give you your number. So there are those. I'm not saying that everybody's this way. Not saying every girl is not up her crack or doesn't have a huge stick up her rear end. Not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes there's a good reason, okay? If you have to deal with a lot of crazies, sometimes you just have to walk quickly when they start talking to you. These days, what I try to do is I smile, nod, keep walking. Sometimes I literally have headphones in my ears. And trick for the ladies. Headphones in your ears, keep nodding. There's this group I passed by back when I used to take the bus, I used to pass by this group of old Spanish dudes all sitting there. Like every time, no matter if it's can I be blunt? If it if it has lady parts or looks like it has lady parts, they will start talking and be like, "Oh, hey, mommy, no, 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 no." Seriously, no, I'm not gonna talk to all 10 of you guys all by myself. What you think this is? I don't want to get gang raped. I don't want to talk to you. Y'all all old enough to be my father, but I must stop and say hello and how are you doing? Oh, I'm nice. No, I'm not giving you my number. I don't. And the funny thing is, these dudes, they'll just come up to you and be like, "Oh, ayo, ma, can I get your number?" Does that ever work for you? Please tell me if it works for you because I'd like to know the trick that really said, "Oh, yes, here is my number, random stranger. I do not know your name. I do not know your occupation. I know nothing about you. I don't know why you're even sitting on the street. I don't even know anything about you, but I'm going to give you my number right now. Right now, I'm going to give it to you, and it's going to be my real number." Okay, all right. Like, is I'm not giving my number to a random dude that just said hello. I don't know you. I'm not going to say I'm not giving you my number. That's just it. Okay? That's just it. And then there's I mean, when it comes on to me right now, I'm not giving my number really to just random guys. And even if you strike up a conversation with me, like unless you make it clear that you just want to be friends, maybe. But it gets annoying because sometimes a girl is just not in the right place. She could have stuff going on in her life. She could have drama. Life happens. But I must give you my number because you're just so amazing. Oh my God. I have to give you my number. Sometimes these dudes are just so crazy. I remember one time I was just walking. The thing that gets on my nerves sometimes is that they just like they get mad at you even if you're nice. Like one time I literally bust a run out of my car to go someplace. I don't have time, okay? But you stop me and say, "Hey, how you doing?" Don't you see I'm running right now? I'm not. Do I look like I'm in the mood to stop and say hello? No. Common sense. No. No. I'm not interested. And then this other time I came out. One thing that I'm also doing these days is just to get on my way because sometimes it's like I don't have time, okay? And you're really sitting here talking to me, trying to convince me that you're some great guy and that I'm like seriously, sometimes it's not the dude, it's sometimes it truly is not you, it's me. Like I really don't I'm not interested. Dude comes and is I literally walk out of Radio Shack and I'm like, um, I don't have after he approaches me, I'm like, I don't have a phone. He asks for my phone. Oh yeah, hey yo, ma, can I get your phone number? No, I don't have a phone. That is why I just walked out of Radio Shack because it is broken. Well, let me give you my number then. What am I supposed to call you on? What phone? I am barely home. I'm supposed to call you. You know nothing of my life. My cell phone could be my only way of contacting people right now besides social networks. But I'm going to call you. I smooth just took up a piece of uh an old mascara container and was like, uh-huh, uh-huh, bye. I don't have time for this. And you come up looking at me and they you come up walking up toward me looking ragged. You could have showered. That's all. Anyway, but that was just my opinion. Um, I just think that some guys need to either get their ego in check, and some of us girls need to find a nicer way to say no. Please, it would be awesome if you could write like if you can think of a nice way for a girl to say no, or just like make a video about how to say not so nice things in a nice way, because it needs to be done. And that would be helpful to some of us girls out there. All right, bye.